Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Daymond John. I'm one of the founders of FUBU.
Yo, let's take it back to the 90s real quick. This was a time when hip-hop wasn't just about music, it was an entire culture. And if you was about that life, you knew that how you dressed said everything about who you were. That's where Fubu comes in, for us, by us.
Fubu runs the fashion world for real. Fubu, the look, the style, the vibe, the feel. Fubu, the clothes got mass appeal. They the best that ever did it, I'm just keeping it real. Fubu, Fubu, come on, Fubu, come on, Fubu, know what I mean? Fubu.
Fubu was a brand that didn't just sell clothes, it told a story. Today's video is about the rise, the fall, and the legacy of Fubu. Fubu got its start in Hollis, Queens in 1992. The mastermind, Daymond John, of course, none other than Mr. Shark Tank himself.
Years of my business, the real business that I had that I say would last about 4 or 5 years was I was driving what we'd call a livery van.
Yep.
It was a van in Queens where a very common practice in Queens and Brooklyn were picking up people in your car or your van, riding the bus routes, and they would give you $1 like they would give the bus. You know, my mother did it actually for a little while, and they would give her 50 cents because that was that many years ago. And
Did you need to
down the bus routes?
Did you need to get like a medallion? Did the taxi cab guys give you trouble or what?
Well, you did need to, but you just happened to forget that little aspect of it.
You were Uber before there was Uber.
100%. Until the Taxi and Limousine Commission did decide that we're going to give you tickets for riding up and down the bus route because it is illegal. So
Right,
I didn't think anything of it because the normal ticket you get, you know, I would think normally out there you say, oh, $50, $100, whatever. So when I got my first ticket for $3,000.
Oh, $3,000.
Yeah, I was 2 tickets away from being homeless, you know, at that point, and I decided to alter that business and move my van into packing it full of super soakers and going down to the Greek picnic where all the college kids went to and sold them super soakers, and then I would print t-shirts with Free Mike Tyson or they don't care what they think about you, or something like that, Rodney King.
Yep.
It would be my first kind of foray into some level of selling clothing, right? And I don't think I've ever really told, I think I wrote that in one of my books, but publicly in interviews, I don't think I ever really told anybody that. Then later on, I would come up with a company idea called Fubu. The way that this company, I created this idea was seeing Timberland say, we don't make or sell our boots to drug dealers, knowing that I was not a drug dealer, knowing that I love this emerging music called hip hop, and I love the dress that came along with it. Made a couple of hats one night, a hat that looks like a ski cap without the ball, but a tie on the top.
Yep.
Made it one night, the night before Good Friday, 1989. My mother showed me how to sew hats. I made about 80 of them because I bought so much fabric trying to sew one of them. I stood on the corner Good Friday, 1989. 42 degrees outside, 3:15 in the afternoon, and I sold $800 worth of hats. I sold actually 80 hats in 1 hour, and I realized at that point that this entrepreneurship thing could maybe work out.
But he wasn't in it alone. He teamed up with his boys Jay Alexander, Keith Perrin, and Carlton Brown, 4 black men from the hood on a mission to create something for us and by us. It all started with Daymond sewing hats in his mama house. But they weren't just any hats. Those were the tie top hats. Everybody was rocking them back then. He made 80 of them, hit the streets of Queens, and the rest was history. He made $800 his first day, and that was just the beginning. He started off making t-shirts to support black issues like Rodney King and Mike Tyson. And although he sold out his first day, actually the first hour, he still didn't have enough money to actually invest in capital. So his mom ended up becoming his angel investor. She took out a loan, a $100,000 loan, to help him get his business started.
Your mom was one of your first investors.
My mother was my first investor, of course. Well, she let me mortgage the house. Mm-hmm. You know, I always say that being an entrepreneur is challenging, but nothing more challenging than being a single mother.
Wow.
Right? And mothers, yeah. Absolutely.
You're right about that.
And whether you're a single mother or a married mother, mothers figure it out, and that's all entrepreneurship is. But as you're a mother, if you bring a child in the world, there's no book that's going to show you exactly how to raise that child point by point. You don't give away your child if your child always has the earache. I mean, Kevin O'Leary would give away his child, but other than that, you figure it out, and that's how I got my hustle. My mother, as a single mother, taught me how to hustle.
The name For Us, By Us wasn't just a tagline, it was a movement. Black owned, black inspired, and black supported. Hip hop culture embraced it quick. The Fubu logo became a symbol of pride. Like, yeah, this is for us. It was like one of the first hashtags.
We love it. We love the fact that, we created the first a hashtag of clothing years ago, and Fubu is a sign of empowerment.
Now, you can't talk about Fubu without talking about LL Cool J. He was one of the first major rappers to rock Fubu, and he did it with pride. But what really took it to the next level was that Gap commercial. Y'all remember that? LL was spitting for Gap.
I know you like your outfit stylish. Any other line but the Gap is childish. Everybody working as your personal stylist. You're falling. Once you hear the Gap calling, you can't resist the shopping. Big ballin', not stopping, yes, y'allin'. Jeans popping in every mall in town and city. GAP, gritty, ready to go. For us, by us, on the low. G, that's for getting the A for always. P, that's for power and the people that praise. Backwards, P for popular, A for attitude. G, get it going, daddy. Gap is on the move. How easy is this?
But he had on a Fubu hat. And not only that, he dropped that For Us, By Us line in the rap. That was a whole power move that put Fubu on the map nationwide. And Gap didn't even realize what was happening until a month later. They were so upset. They basically spent $31 million to promote Fubu. And they didn't even know it. I know a lot of people got fired that day. By the late 90s, Fubu was everywhere. Even I was rocking Fubu. I would never forget my mom used to buy us Fubu. And she went to the local store, got a whole bunch of Fubu outfits, showed up to my great-granny house, and she had Christmas gifts for everybody. Honey, everybody was rocking Fubu that Christmas. The baggy jeans, the jerseys, and the oversized jackets became staples in hip-hop fashion. You had artists like Nas, Missy Elliott, and even Will Smith repping Fubu.
It made people feel like they belong. People who felt like initially they weren't being respected because of whether it's the music you listen to or something else like that. I created a community, the kind of like the first hashtag of clothing. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't saving lives, but I remember the first day African American woman came up to me and she said, I opened my bakery because I believe that, you showed me that us as African Americans, we can also empower ourselves too, and we can create our own.
You was owning Fubu? Of course.
So at what point did you become an owner of Fubu, and why haven't we heard more?
I just didn't really talk about it.
Why?
Because it wasn't important. Daymond and them came to me, they stood outside my house for 2 weeks or something. And I, love them and appreciate them and respect them and said, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? They know it. They'll come on here and confirm it.
LL had just, we begged him to do a deal with us, and LL is an absolute amazing partner and celebrity spokesperson. He's really dedicated.
The brand wasn't just in music videos. It was on TV, music, and stages around the world. At its peak, Fubu made over $350 million in annual revenue. But it was more than just clothes. It was a movement that showed the power of Black entrepreneurship. So many Black people were inspired by Fubu because they said, if he did it, I can do it too. I have to tell you, clothing brands is one of the hardest industries to get into. We don't see very many Black successful clothing brands, but nothing lasts forever, right? So by the early 2000s, streetwear was changing. Brands like Sean John, Rockaware, Echo, Baby Fat. What was the other one, y'all? It was called like Snow Polo, something like that. All of them brands started coming out around the same time and dominating the game. And Fubu, it struggled to keep up. The same brands that were inspired by Fubu were now turning into Fubu's competition. People started saying that it was played out. They started selling it at discount stores. And kids were being fun of by making, wearing it at school. And let's be real, some folks felt like Fubu got too big, too fast, and it lost its connection to the street. By 2003, they had to pull out of the U.S. market.
What happened to Fubu? What what I'm starting to notice is, bro, it's kind of trendy to spend a lot of money on your clothes, you know, and then the downplay comes in when you're not spending a lot of money on your clothes. You know, most people would be like, that shit cheap. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It probably was the price. And then people with the rep after, you know what I'm saying? You wearing cheap stuff, and then people ran away from the brand because they didn't want to get talked about.
So Fubu fell off in your eyes because the prices were so low that people would judge you for wearing clothes that are low cost, even though it was high quality, good looking clothes still.
100%.
So you don't think it was anything to do with the designs or anything? It was just about the fact that social pressure made you go buy more expensive stuff.
That as well. And like how you said, the design, I don't know, they probably wasn't able to catch the times. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't able to grow with the industry that they were in. You know, if you don't got a young mind in your design team, it's kind of hard to keep up with trends because, you know, who's going to tell you what's in style unless you just a strong-minded individual and going to push your own.
Fubu tried to make a slight comeback in 2010. They launched Fubu TV, a network focused on Black culture and stories. They also found a lot of success overseas, especially in Asia and South Africa, where the brand was still respected. I think that says a lot about American culture and the fast fashion and how everything is just so fast over here. And versus in other countries, it's like they're still respecting us and admiring us for the work that we did. And some of the things that we just tossed to the garbage, other people value it. But the big win for Daymond John came from somewhere else. Shark Tank.
Did Shark Tank help the Fubu brand?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all remember that familiar face on Shark Tank. I knew I recognized him from somewhere. He became one of the most recognizable faces in business, showing the world what Black excellence really looks like. Him starring on this hit show brought a lot of attention back to the Fubu brand, did amazing things for not only the brand, but for Daymond himself. And that's why still today, every now and then, you catch your favorite celebrities like SZA and Drake still rocking the brand. It's like that long lost cousin that you forgot about, but when somebody brings it up, it makes you smile. And when y'all see each other, it's like old times. Still today, Fubu's influence is undeniable. The brand paved the way for so many others, from Billionaire Boys Club to Telfar. And in 2019, they launched a collaboration with Puma, showing they still got it. Fubu wasn't just a clothing brand, it was a cultural reset. It proved that hip-hop wasn't just music and Black culture wasn't just a trend. It was a billion-dollar industry with room for us at the top. So whether you was rocking a Fubu jersey back in the day or you just heard the name for the first time, remember this. Fubu isn't just fashion, it's a legacy. It's a reminder that we can build something out of nothing, put our people on, and change the game forever. While our country is dealing with all of these different policies and all of this crazy stuff going on right now with some of the biggest retail store providers like Target, Walmart, Amazon, just remember, we still have the power to buy Black and support one another. We have the largest buying power. Without us, there's no them. Without us, they don't survive.